Hey guys, Zach here and welcome back to Conquer Red Alert 2 video. In this game I'm playing a 3-4 match on the map Monster Movie. I'm starting in the bottom right position, playing as the Soviets. This is a 3-player free-for-all, and the 2 players I'm playing against say the new players, and what they've got is they've got a friend who they say is pro, and they're just doing a little bit of training to try and get better at the game so they can play with the friend. I know some of you have been asking me to make the sidebar a bit bigger. I don't know if that's possible. I've been having a look at some options, so if anyone knows if you can do that, just let me know. I've seen other YouTube videos where the side box is the same size. First thing I'm going to do is get some scouting done with my dogs, and I was wondering what on earth that noise was at the start, and then I saw the dinosaur, and this is the first time I've come across a dinosaur on one of these maps. So yeah, I was wondering what, because I was hearing this noise, I was thinking what on earth is going on there, but now we know. And we can see the T-Rexes in the trees, and at this point I didn't actually know whether the dinosaurs did anything, whether they would attack like harvesters or tanks or men or anything like that, but it appears they don't. I think it's only if you attack them that they do attack back, so I wasn't quite sure what was going to happen at this point while the dinosaur was running across my base, but as you can see it doesn't do anything. It just goes across my base and then goes back. I think you're possibly going to be able to attack them if you want to, of course. If you want to try and win, you're not going to do that. And my dog's in the top right. We can see there's no base there, so I think there was a player starting there, so I think he must have moved his base to another location. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to get eyes on what my enemies are doing, and this is going to be the first match that you've seen me played Soviets. And one of the key things about Soviets is the Autrux have guns attached to them, so I'll be able to do some fire on any attacks with my Autrux. I think Autrux are quite bulky, but I doubt they'll do much damage at all. Well, I'm pretty sure actually they'll do absolutely hardly any damage at all. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to move my MCV to the next starting spot, because what I want to do is I want to expand my base and be able to use more and more resources. So redeploying it there and getting another ore refinery. And we've got good visuals on the base in the top middle position. I think one of the key things to look out for at this stage, especially for myself, is are they building Rocketeers? Because I don't have any air defences at the moment, so I need to get an idea of what they're building. We could also see some air defences from those players. That tells me that there's not going to be much point in building air missiles or helicopters if I want to go for the base attack. I'm also just going to put a base defence down, an anti-air defence down just in case, because I know allied players quite often come early with Rocketeers, so I'll just get one down just in case. I'm just thinking about where to put it. I'll just put it there. I can always build some anti-air things from my war factory if I need to, and just having a bit of a look there at what he's doing. So we can see the other players don't look like they're expanding at the moment, and it looks like the other player is in the bottom left hand corner. So what I'm doing right at the moment is I'm just going to try and keep out of trouble initially, and I'm going to try and expand across the map and get to as many points as I can. And thankfully the dinosaurs, as you can see, haven't attacked, so at this point I really know that I'm quite safe from that. When you get to higher levels though, with 3-player free-for-alls, it's actually quite a bad number, because what happens is you get all players sort of like holding back, because you don't want to be the first one to attack, because if you're the person in the first fight, or if you're one of the 2 players in the first fight, then the 3rd player could come through at the end and destroy the person who's left standing. But in these sort of like games where you've got lots of new players, it's really not going to matter as much. And just I've got a couple more Autrux there. I'm going to build another war factory. That's going to increase the building speed of my tanks. Again, I'm going to be looking to expand to the next ore patch, so I'm undeploying my MCV again and going up to the top right position. And that means I'm going to like control 3 of the 8 sections on the map, which is going to give me a really good economy, especially when there's like only 2 other players, because that's going to mean that I'm going to have like more than a third of the map control. And it's going to give me a really good economy. And from what I can see at the moment is from the other players, I can see some Rocketeers there actually, but they seem to be going in the other direction, thankfully. So I'm not going to have to build any more air defences. and those dinosaurs still coming around. But yeah, what we've done now is we've built a service depot, and that's just a safety feature, and that's because if I lose that MCV, I want to be able to build another one. So it's just one of those things for safety. And now we can see our enemies have got a gap generator, so I'm no longer going to be able to see what's going on in their bases. But what I can see is they do have some tanks, and I'm also going to be able to see where they are on the map. But yet again, building another war factory, because I realise I've got loads of funds and I need more war factories, because that's going to increase my building speed and allow me to build things a little bit more quickly. I'm also getting some defensive units so I can defend against air with my tanks, because if they bring some rocketeers in and I'm fighting with only tanks, then I'm not going to be able to fire on those air units, so I'm just getting a bit of a mix. I'm just getting a couple of anti-air defences as well in this new base. I also don't know how much my opponents have been scouting, because I didn't really see any scouts at the start. So maybe they don't have any scouts, so I don't know if they even see me at the moment expanding all over the map, because that would give them the sort of like green light to attack me, because you'd want to attack a player before they got too strong. But I'm getting a really good economy going now. I've got a few war factories. I should be able to produce units faster than the other two players. I'm just having a bit of a look around at the moment, getting a bit of power. Of course, you need to keep that power up, because if you don't, then you're going to have a much slower building speed. There may be some structures also that wouldn't work, but I don't quite know which ones those are at the moment. I'm going to be guessing it's going to be things like Tesla, which wouldn't fire. I don't know about the flak cannons, but now we're getting a bit of a big army going. We've also got a radar dome out now, so we can see what's going on in different parts of the map. And I'm just going to have a bit of a look around the map. And there we can see our opponent on the other side of the map, trying to mine in the middle. We destroy his ore truck, and he seems to have some V2 rockets. I don't know though if they're anything like the V2 rockets in Red Alert Remastered, then they're not going to be much use. And we've managed to take out 3 ore trucks. Some great economic damage, and we're just trying to bring everything in there. It doesn't look like there's much army left, and we see some of those anti-air defences there, but I don't have any air units to attack with. We'll just destroy some of his buildings now, and it seems to be all going well at the moment. I just need to be careful of I'm just having a bit of a look at my own base, because I want to get back. I want to make sure that I'm okay, and I don't use up all my tanks, because we do have another player in this. And now just building another war factory once again, just so I can keep up some good production. I've got a bit of visibility, of course, of this guy's base. He now looks like he's got a Tesla coil down, but again, it looks like he hasn't really expanded. So I've got like a much better economy, and I should be able to outproduce. And now what I'm doing is I'm producing the Overlord tanks. So I haven't produced those before. I don't know if they're cost effective. They might be, they might not. I know in my obviously Red Alert Remastered, the Mammoth tanks, which are the biggest tanks, are very ineffective, but it seems like these ones at least move a little bit faster than the Mammoth tanks do in Red Alert Remastered. And now I'm just getting my army together, and it has grown to a decent size, and it looks like we're going to be able to go on the attack again to the player on the middle left. So let's see what we can do here. You can see his army isn't that big, and we're going to take out that Tesla coil first, because well, I know from Remastered that Tesla coils do great damage. I don't know about this game though, but we're going for the attack now on the base, and it looks like it's going all well for now. We just got a mass of tanks, and we're totally outmatching the other player in terms of army size, and he's just losing everything now, and his construction yard goes down. And next we're going to be able to take out those war factories, so he's not going to be able to produce any more tank units. And that player is now out of the game. Well, pretty much anyway. I'll just try and take out any of the other buildings just to make sure. I don't know what all the buildings do actually at this point, and I think I've done a bit of a mistake there. It was a bit of a green building, maybe a nuclear reactor or something, so I'll probably cause a lot of damage to my own tanks. And that's what happens when you're playing a game you're unfamiliar with. You destroy something that you shouldn't really have done. But now I'm going to need to take... I think that's pretty much nearly all the buildings gone. It's just now the anti-air defences, and you can see this player went absolutely really hard on the air defences. It's a good thing I decided not to try and use any earlier on in the game, or build something like helicopters. And now green is out of the game, and we've got one player left. Now what the final player should do, orange now, is attack me straight away. As soon as that player got knocked out and eliminated, he should attack me because this is a point where I'll be at my weakest position because a lot of my tanks are damaged, and what you shouldn't do is you shouldn't give the other player time to build up. But I am building more tanks and my army is going to be regrouping now. So I don't want to attack straight away. I want to leave it a bit, and that's going to be the best option because I can see that the player is just still in the top middle. So because he hasn't expanded his base out over the different ore patches, I know that he's going to be sort of limited in the amount of resources he's collecting. So what I'm just going to do is I'm just going to wait a little bit, collect some more resources, and then I'm going to go on the attack. I can also see the middle of the map as well, so I can see he's not using any of his ore trucks in there at the moment. So what I'm going to do is just possibly position my army a bit there. And what I've just built is some airships. I'm just going to send them over, see if they do anything. He's got a few air defences. I'm just quite interested because I've never used these units before. I don't know how good they are or whether they're going to actually do anything at all. It's probably a bad idea anyway because of all his anti-air defence, but we'll just see and give them a go and just test them out. So yeah, I think I don't know what they actually do, if they just drop I'm going to guess they drop bombs or something. They must do something like that, I guess, but I'm really not sure. And yeah, oh, you can see those anti-air vehicles coming out. And it looks like these are going to go down. I'm going to see if they're going to make it to the base, but it doesn't look like it. You can see them losing power pretty quickly. And I may be able to try them out in another game where I have a bit more time. But now my army has been built up again, and I'm shortly going to be able to go on the attack, just building some new units, some anti-air defence as well, and just having a bit of a look around my map. You can see my ore trucks are travelling a bit further now to other ore patches, because I did have quite a lot of ore trucks in the bottom right at the start, and they used up the resources on that part of the map pretty quickly. Some parts of the map are pretty barren for resources right now. I should really have expanded to the bottom left at this point when I beat that other player, just so I had more map control. But I did decide to stick on the right side of the map and just build up my army, which the tank numbers you can see now are pretty good. And now we're going to go on the attack. The question is, do we have enough units to get through his base? We're going to find out pretty soon. Destroying those first two vehicles, and now he's got those tanks in, including some prism tanks there. And now the battle is on. It looks like we'll be able to destroy his units pretty quickly, and you can just see our army is pretty overwhelming. And now we're just going on to his base. He does have a prism tower there, which does quite a bit of damage, but we're going to be able to take out that pretty quickly. And we're into his base, and we're going to be able to destroy all the major buildings. Now the Rocketeers come in, but the thing is, I do have some anti-air defence vehicles, which are going to be able to take out those Rocketeers. And now he's asking in the chat, for those of you who can't see, he's asking if I'm pro. He's saying I can play his friend, because his friend, he said, was a pro player before we started playing this game. So he thinks I'm a lot better than I actually am. I think what the difference in this game is we were all beginners, but I think I'm a beginner who has played quite a lot of RTS titles, so I know about base expansion and that thing. I think that was the real difference between us. You can see the other two players that didn't expand at all. They just stayed in their local locations. And what that means is you're not going to have as many resources and you're not going to be able to build as many units. And in any RTS game, what it's about is getting map control and being able to build a big army. Anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video.